Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffy Kennedy, author of Epic Fantasy Romance. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Ah, that's good. Delicious. Oh, hold on. I've got my phone on buzz just in case because the man is taking my car in to have it serviced for me. I know I don't have to tell you to hold on, but I can't get over. Maybe it's part of the verisimilitude of us having a chat over coffee. Please forgive me while I check my phone. It was just my mother, only my mother, who is fine now. She says she's back to normal, feeling good. She has to wear her mask for one more day and then she's free of that. So that's great, isn't it? And I haven't said today is Monday, July 18th. So, yeah, David is very kindly taking my car in to have the oil changed and have it checked because tomorrow we are driving it down to um, Rio Doso, to Inn of the Mountain Gods, for his birthday week. His birthday is Thursday, I think. His siblings fly in tonight. So this is one of those things where he and I differ, but he's like, Mr. Maintain the car. I'm like, put gas in the car and make it go. Uh, when we go on a trip, he always wants the mechanic to check over the car to make sure it's all right for a road trip. It's like, yeah, it's 3 hours. But he's been right many times, so I concede the point. And I do agree that checking for problems is far better than having it like break down on the road. So, been busy, busy, busy. So I think I never told you all about having the fountain installed, my brand new fountain. I will post a photo of it. Um, they installed it a week ago Friday, and it was we took lots and lots of pictures. It was fascinating to watch. I didn't post any of them, um, partly mostly because I got busy, and then it's like, I don't know if I want to post all those pictures. Um, some people who are better at social media than I am share more of that, which I find ironic because I'll like tell you anything, but it's like, do I want to post all these pictures? I don't necessarily want my yeah, all that stuff out. But it was amazing to watch them do it. Four guys dug the hole, and then they, maybe I did talk about some of this. Oh, hummingbirds over my head. I am like a Frank Howell painting. I gave her fresh, him or her, gave it fresh, with them. Let's call hummingbirds them. I gave them fresh juice last night. Yes, very happy. So, yeah, got that installed. And the way it works, I don't know if I've ever explained. I don't know if I told you guys. Oh, right. I'm going to tell it again. They dug the hole and then they lined it with like a felt blanket and then a big rubber flexible tarp. And then they framed it in with 4x4s and then used steel I beams that go across because the rock I chose is like 1,800 pounds. And then they brought in this thing that they called the stinger, and they brought it in and it carried the rock out and it went it set down. And they were really wonderful. If you're a longtime listener, you know that I was angsting about this. Um, that they, I they were so nice. They were so accommodating. They were amazing. And so all my angst was for naught, as it so often is. And so they were very patient and wonderful about, positioning the rock, making sure it was exactly the angle that I wanted it at. I was like a little more this way, and they were so nice about it. And I mean, I can see why, because 1,800-pound rock, once it's down, you want to leave it down. And then they put water in the pit, and they put, well, before they put the rock down, they put two layers of grate, a larger grate and then a finer grate on top, and then set the rock on that. Pumps down underneath, and it pumps water up through the top of the rock, and it fountains down, and it goes back into the bottom. So what I didn't realize, I guess we just never discussed it, is there's supposed to be rocks on top. So it looks like the water's just falling into rocks, when really it's falling through the grate, right? I think it's such a cool idea. We're having a little bit of a hummingbird war. Oh, and the wren is chiming in. So it, they didn't put the rocks down. It was just a grate. And I just didn't have time to deal with it all last week. It was such a busy week. So on Saturday morning, I woke up fairly early and got my phone and went back to bed and was lying there reading and playing with my phone. And I started looking up where I could get rocks. And David woke up and I said, I think I want to just get up and go and get these rocks early. I forgot I've been planning to go to yoga. Oops, I really need to get back in that habit. And I know I've been saying that for months and months, possibly a year. Which reminds me, I need to sit up straight. So we went and bought rocks, and it's an uninteresting saga. So I will not give you the blow by blow. But we ended up going to a couple different places and finding someone to lug the 30-pound bags of rocks, um, to load them onto the cart for us, proved to be impossible. So I just did it, because I'm strong like bull. And it was a workout. Actually, I'm good. I feel pretty good. But we got 10 bags of 30-pound bags of rocks. And on Saturday, I did a few things. I felt very productive, but it was, I don't know. It was productive. I got the laundry done. I did 2 loads of dishes because it had been such a busy week that, like, every dish in the house was dirty, as I think my mother would say. So I ran the dishwasher twice, and I arranged the rocks around the fountain, and I got all of that landscaping done, and I think it looks awesome, and I'm so happy with it. It's a real delight. So, and then I cleaned up my office, which ended up being a little ironic because I dealt with the entire chaos of my office and got it all cleared out very happily. I think I mentioned to you all before that it drives me nuts if my office is in chaos. So I got it all organized. This is all Saturday. And then finished up like around 5 and drank some wine. It's been hot here. Not as hot as it is other places, but we've been up into the low 90s, which is hot for us. So we've been running the air conditioning. I don't much like air conditioning. That's why I make a face if you're on video. So then on Sunday, one of these things that I had to deal with was getting stuff out for the SFWA Finalists. Um, yes, belatedly. In fact, one set of things that I'm sending out is from a year ago. And so I had 2 air tables full of finalists and their addresses, which were not in an easy mode to put into labels. But I had my mailing labels. I used to do this all the time for work. And so this is part of my theme of like how technology moves without you. They change stuff. Um, I used to be so good at mail merge. I could just boom, 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 get all this done. And I spent all this time on Word Sunday morning because I thought I need to make sure I have enough labels. I want to make, because I was going to go run errands. So I thought, okay, I need to get labels done first. I spent like, oh, I gotta check my phone again. I think this is probably not my mother. Hold on. It was just my reminder on the Jack oil change, which David remembered better than I did. He remembers all things car. So, I spent way longer than I should have on those fucking labels. And I ended up, I like couldn't even figure out how to make it go into a second page. Uh, I'm sure there's a way, and there used to be a way, but and then I couldn't get them to print because I finally figured out. It just took me longer than it should have because we have new internet. I had to actually go to the printer itself and change the Wi-Fi connection on the printer to connect it to our network for wireless printing. I tried all from the other direction first. It's all done now. It's all set. Then I went out to run errands and got the remaining supplies for the Nebula Finalist treat boxes and vitamins David asked me to get. And then I went to Bed Bath and Beyond and got some birthday presents for David. And then I went to Target to get one of the birthday presents that they were so no longer carried at Bed Bath and Beyond. It was very interesting. Bed Bath and Beyond had greatly reduced stock. And when I went to Target, they also had greatly reduced stock. So I think this is what a lot of these fly big box stores are going towards is um, not having because they had so much backlog there for a while when all the container ships finally arrived, right? So I noticed that Bed Bath and Beyond has a much airier feel, more space. Maybe they have less stock, and so they're rearranging to make it look better. So anyway, they were like, "Oh yeah, we used to carry that. We don't anymore." So then I went to Target and found some helper people. I mean, at least I found people to help me. Um, and they said, "Oh, but we're all sold out. We do carry it, but we're all sold out at this location." So then I went to Lowe's, and it was kind of well, David does watch this podcast anyway. It's one of those extender grabber things, which I didn't even know what to call it, but like you have the handle and it has a little grippy thing at the end, and he wanted one of those. We used to have one and it broke. And so asking at three different stores for these people, and I said I don't know what to call it, and they're all like and of course they can all search on their phones because they all have the inventory app on their phones now. And they said, well, I just put in grabber. So I found it at Lowe's. If you need one, it's in the cleaning supplies. Go figure. I couldn't figure out what category they'd put these things in. So I did find one. It was really hot. I had the top down on the convertible, which was perhaps unwise because I think I got a little hot. And then I was meeting Emily Ma, who is our editorial director for SFWA. I'm doing the letters now so that I don't have to go through and correct where it says SFWA on the transcript. But it is more correctly SFWA, not SFWA. I'm really interested to see how that transcript handles that. So she was supposed to come over at 2 to help me assemble the treat boxes. And I texted her and said, can we push to 2:30? And she said, fine. Because I stopped at Starbucks. I really wanted my Trenta unsweetened passion tea. Love those things. So refreshing. So cool. So I went and got that. If you eat all of the unripe grapes, there won't be any ripe grapes. I'm talking to the curve-billed thrasher, and they are working very, very hard to feed their nestlings on the front porch. But I noticed the other day that they were taking the unripe grapes to the babies, which, fine. But we're going to get denuded of grapes feeding these thrasher babies. I know it doesn't matter. So, yeah. And then I got home and I didn't even have time to eat, which may have also been a factor. because Emily and I plunged right into. I made myself an apple and some hummus, but then like it sat there and languished because I kept making my hands dirty, and we were trying to put these treat boxes together, and then there was like confusion. I don't. It was ridiculously difficult to do. Like, how many did we need, and who were they going to? And oh my fucking god, I just can't even tell you. So we got it mostly done. I didn't get everything done on it that I wanted to. It turned out I had the wrong kind of mailing envelopes for the certificate, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't even need all of those labels that I made. And we are leaving tomorrow morning for Inn of the Mountain Gods. So it's just going to have to wait till I get back at the end of the week. But I'm couple steps, a number of steps closer to having that done. The good news is that last week I did have a 10,000 word week on Shadow Wizard. That's good news for me, anyway. Um, a little over 10,000, I think. 10,057 words. So good momentum on that book. I've been listening to, I finished listening to the Bright Familiar audiobook, and now I am almost done with the Gray Magic audiobook. So I feel like I've got a good grip on the story. So I'm kind of waffling at this point with going down to Inn of the Mountain Gods with David and his siblings. Should I try to write? I've been planning to write. Next week I go to a PolyCon. I'm pretty excited because my agent, Sarah Younger of Nancy Yost Literary Agency, is going to be there. She figured out that like five of her clients are going to be at this conference, and she decided to come. So that's going to be kind of cool. Be nice to see her. I've not seen her since July of 2019. Um, so yeah, that'll be really great. So I am hoping to be able to continue to write through a PolyCon, which I should be able to because of the timing of events. Should allow me to get my words in the morning. So right now I'm waffling on should I try to keep writing this week? I had been planning to. They tend to stay up all night in the casino, which I'm an early bird, so and I don't. I can only like play the slots for like an hour and then I get bored. Um, so but then I feel kind of antisocial too. But I go to bed and I wake up early and they all sleep until like 10 or 11. So I could do it. But I'm also toying with should I take a vacation? But then I'll lose my momentum on the book. So I'm really waffling on all of this. We'll see how today goes. I'm hoping to write tomorrow morning before I leave. Um, I'm trying to decide whether or not to do the podcast. I know that my mother votes yes, do the podcast. Um, I don't know. I think I'm going to play it by ear. Maybe I will do some podcast interviews at a PolyCon. Maybe we could get Sarah to do podcast with me. That could be fun. And I'm rooming with Jennifer Eastep. Would you all like to hear an interview with Jennifer Eastep? Other authors I will be hanging out with there are Leslie Penelope, Amanda Boucher, Lexi Ryan, Chelsea Mueller. I'm probably forgetting people. Not that I don't love them, it's just that my brain is, I'll tell you what, trying to figure out these labels. It's because I had two different years, right? And some finalists overlapped, like they were finalists in both years. So I knew I have two sets of certificates to send out, but I could send two certificates in one envelope for people who overlap the 2 years. And then I had another set of this year's finalists were getting both a certificate and a treat box, but those can't go in the same thing. So I don't know. The logistics fried my brain for no good reason at all. Um, I would approach it differently this time. I probably, this is a theme lately, right? I was probably overthinking it. And I'm still going to have to make more labels because I know I messed up. The amusing thing about social media, though, was that when I was putting these labels together, there were at least two people, or well, there were two people. There could be more, but that I knew had moved just because they talked about it on social media, and so I was able to tag them and say, "Hey, I noticed. I think I saw that you moved. Do you have a new address?" So anyway, um, such are the travails of daily life, right? Um, we should all be like the hummingbirds, uh, fighting over the feeders. It's not a romantic analogy, is it? All right, so uh, I'm just going to see how I feel tomorrow, find out what the timing is going to be on us meeting up. I've got to prioritize getting words, Mom. So maybe podcast tomorrow, maybe not. And regardless, I will talk to you all again someday. You all take care. Bye bye.